A while back, I published a video showing you how to configure Home Assistant's energy dashboard to display your peak and off-peak energy usage. Well, I had a lot of feedback on that asking how to do that for more complex energy tariffs, like Cosy Octopus that has 3 different rates at different times of the day. Well, today I'm going to go through some specific examples of how to configure the dashboard to track various smart tariffs from Octopus. The Energy Dashboard in Home Assistant is a great way to visualize your energy usage over time. You can point it at your various energy sources, the grid, your solar panels, home batteries, that sort of thing, and it pulls that all together in an easy to read graph that you can customize to display any time period you want to report on. It'll also show you a summary of the data itself in a useful table underneath, and can keep track of your costs too if you provide it with tariff information. But getting the dashboard working with smart tariffs, so that's an energy tariff that has different rates at different times of the day, requires a bit of effort. Now, this only really works with smart tariffs that have defined rate periods. So what do I mean by that? Well, Octopus Go, for example, has an off-peak period of midnight until 4:30 AM, and then the rest of the day is peak. So there are 2 specifically defined rates, a peak rate and an off-peak rate. Compare that with a tariff such as Agile, where the rate changes every 30 minutes, or Tracker, where the rate is different every day. There's no set period of peak or off-peak rates that you can track, just lots of varying points. Tracking tariffs like Agile and Tracker using the methods I'm going to show you here is just not possible. You can track Agile and Tracker energy costs and energy usage in the dashboard, but it's dealt with a bit differently, and I'll probably cover that in a future video. So for this video, I'm going to concentrate on 5 specific Octopus smart tariffs. Octopus Go, which I mentioned before, has a single off-peak period per day, and the rest of the day is considered peak. Intelligent Octopus Go, which has an extended single off-peak period per day, plus ad hoc off-peak hours during the rest of the day if Octopus deem it appropriate, and then the rest of the day is considered peak. Octopus Flux, which is designed for home battery owners and gives you 3 hours off-peak between 2 AM and 5 AM, then a peak period between 4 PM and 7 PM, and the rest of the day is at a standard rate. Intelligent Octopus Flux, which is also designed for home battery owners, but you give Octopus control of your charging and discharging schedule. This has a peak period between 4 PM and 7 PM, with the rest of the day at a standard rate. And finally, Cosy Octopus, which is intended for heat pump owners. This tariff has 2 off-peak periods, one between 4 AM and 7 AM and another between 1 PM and 4 PM. There's also a peak rate from 4 PM to 7 PM, and the rest of the day is charged at a standard rate. Before I get started on the first example, if you're not yet with Octopus Energy but are considering switching to them, please use my referral code, which is on the screen right now. If you do, then we both get an extra £50 of account credit once your move to them is finished. And a big thank you to those of you who have already used my referral code, it's really appreciated. Okay, let's start with the most complicated tariff here, Cosy Octopus. So there are 2 low-cost periods which Octopus call Cosy periods, and they'll both be charged at the same lower rate. Then we have a single peak period which is charged at the highest rate. Finally, there's everything in between, which will be charged at a third rate that we'll call the standard rate. We need to model those 3 different rates in Home Assistant. So we do this by creating a utility meter in Home Assistant. So we go down to Settings, Devices and Services, Helpers, and Create Helper, and right down at the bottom of this list is Utility Meter. I'm going to give it a name of Energy Import Cosy Octopus. And then we need to tell it to use our grid energy imported. So this sensor here would be from your smart meter or something that tells you how much energy you've imported. I've just used a simulated one here. Then we scroll down to the tariffs, and we need to set up those 3 tariffs. So there's one called Cosy, one called Peak, and one called Standard. So you can see it's created 3 tariffs there, and we click on Submit and Finish. So that creates a utility meter which keeps track of how much energy was used when a particular rate was active, but it doesn't yet know when to switch between those rates. So the next job is to create an automation that manages that for you. So we go down to Settings, Automations and Scenes, and we're in Automations there. go to Create Automation, create a new automation. Now I'm going to switch to YAML mode because I've already created an automation here. And I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, switch back, paste it over the top, and click on Save. It's already filled in a name for me, so rename is fine. Now, just to go over here, you can see that it's set to trigger at various times. So at 4 AM it sets a variable called tariff to Cosy. At 7 AM it sets that tariff variable to standard. 1 PM sets it to Cosy, 4 PM sets it to peak, 7 PM sets it to standard. And then the action will change your utility meter to whatever that tariff value is. So those tariffs that you typed in when you created the utility meter, it's very important that they match exactly what's listed in this automation. Now it's very important that you leave this for a day, a full 24 hours. The reason is that until those utility meters have started populating with data, you just can't add them to your energy dashboard. After 24 hours, hopefully all three of those different rates, so Cosy, Peak and Standard, will have data in them to display. Once they do, then you're ready to configure the energy dashboard. So to configure the dashboard, you just go down to Settings, Dashboards, and then the energy dashboard there. We're going to add a consumption, and we're going to choose Cosy Octopus Cosy and save that. We're going to choose Cosy Octopus Peak and save that. And then Cosy Octopus Standard there. Now you can see I'm choosing to do not track costs, but if you've got the Octopus Energy integration and you want to track the costs in the dashboard, you can just choose an entity tracking that cost, which is provided by the integration, or you could just put it in manually there if you wanted. I'm going to choose do not track costs and click on save. Now after a couple of hours it should start to show you data in the energy dashboard itself. Hopefully this works. Yep, there we go. Got some data, that's really good. So if I hover over these bars, you can see this is standard rate. As I move through, it should change color, and you can see that's Cosy rate along there, and then standard rate along here, Cosy rate, Cosy rate, Cosy rate, peak rate just there. So you can see it's changing the color slightly for each tariff. But importantly, down here in the sources section, you've got a table which is showing a breakdown of all the different rates that you are using. So if you're on Octopus Go, Octopus Flux or Intelligent Octopus Flux, then the process for those tariffs is pretty much exactly the same. Just create a utility meter with the specific tariff rate names you need and an automation that switches to those rates at the required times. I've already created some for you so as you can copy and paste them easily. They're on my website and I'll put a link to that in the description. But Intelligent Octopus Go is a bit more complicated. You still set up your utility meter the same as with Octopus Go with peak and an off-peak tariff, but your automation will be very different because you'll need to deal with those other random hours that could happen at any time, not just switching on at a set schedule. Well, to deal with that, you need the Octopus Energy integration installed and configured in Home Assistant. This is available to install using HACS, and I'll put a link in the description to another video that can talk you through installing that if you haven't got that already. Once you've got HACS working and you've installed the Octopus Energy integration, you'll need to go and search for a specific binary sensor that's associated with your charger or your EV, depending on which device you've got configured to work with Intelligent Octopus. So I've got the Octopus Energy integration all configured here, as you can see, and it's connected to an account that has got the Intelligent Octopus Go tariff. Now there's two devices here. One's the electricity meter, we're not interested in that, but in this case there's a MyEnergy Zappi EV charger that has been linked to the account. If I click on that, you'll see down here under sensors, click on this one called Octopus Energy Intelligent Dispatching, which turns on whenever it's basically an off-peak rate. So this will turn on during the normal set hours between 11:30 and 5:30 in the morning, and off for the rest of the day, unless there is one of those special one-off hours that it gives you, in which case it will turn on. So what you need to do is click on the little cog, make a note of the entity ID here, which I'm copying to the clipboard. Normally your account ID is in here, but I've changed the name for privacy reasons. Next we need to go and create an automation. So settings, automations, create automation, create a new automation, and again we're going to switch down to edit in YAML, and of course here is one I prepared earlier which I'm going to paste in and save. Okay, so to go over the little bits in here, we have got a trigger here which is based on that binary sense that you just looked up, changing from off to on. So make sure that this name here matches the one that you just saw previously, and the same here as well. So this one sets it to off peak and this one sets the variable to peak, and then this bit here is your utility meter, which will which you're changing to whichever tariff is appropriate at that moment in time. So just save it and back out and you're done. Again, same as with the other tariffs, you have to leave it for 24 hours so as the peak and off-peak utility meters fill with data before you can then go into the energy dashboard and add your tariffs in there. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. Please give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more from me. These people here are my channel members and I'm very grateful for their support, so thank you all very much. If you're interested in becoming a member and seeing my videos before they're available to the public, then go and check out the join button under this video for more information. I'll put all of the configuration for these automations up on my website and the link to that is down in the description. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.